Hello crafty friends, this is the Papered Chef here. In today's video, I'm going to show you 12 projects I created using the Sentimental Rose April 2019 Paper Pumpkin Kit by Stampin' Up. This video is dedicated to Janet C., my latest Paper Pumpkin subscriber. Because she subscribed yesterday, she will not be getting this April kit, she'll be getting the May kit. You have to subscribe by the 10th of each month to get the kit for that month. I love these kits so much I order 2 of those each month because they sell out of the refills in about 5 minutes. I'm kind of exaggerating. They sell out of the refills in about 1 day, and I can never get a hold of refills, so that's why I buy 2 full kits. All right, Sentimental Rose comes with enough materials to make 9 cards. You never know what you're going to get in any month's kit. So what I did with the cards is I cut them apart and made other projects. So I'm going to start out by just showing you some cards I made using this technique, and then I'm going to show you using the instructions, and then I'm going to show you how I varied some of the projects. Okay, the kit also came with a box. So I will start out with just showing you what I did with the box here and what I did with the cards. So these cards come with all the materials, and I stamped this. It came with a gray granite stamping block, a stamping spot, and I didn't think the roses looked that good in just gray by themselves, so I colored them using a masking technique, which I also have other videos to show you. And I used the color called Flirty Flamingo and the color called Mint Macaron. And I used the little dots that were included, the little twine that was included. I gotta tie that better. Okay, little twine that was included and the little sentiments that were included. Okay, so other than varying the colors of the stamp, this card is exactly the way it came. These little note cards are perfect for mailing out as thank you notes to customers and just different things. Then I made a Mother's Day card. I love the way that the materials come with all these things. This card was already printed with nice little words on it that have to do with spring and flowers and things, and nice sayings. And then I put the Happy Mother's Day sentiment on with gray granite. I used Mint Macaron again just to add some flowers. See, they didn't do that, and they did it on this one, but they did it with the gray in the instructions, but I wanted to just do it with a touch of Mint Macaron. The way I knew that color would coordinate is because every kit comes with a little, let me just zoom in there, a little list of coordinating colors. So in other words, Stampin' Up has done all the work for me. So I know that these colors coordinate together, and I can go grab other inks that I know will work with this kit right away without doing a lot of thinking and a lot of research. Okay, so that's how I varied this one up. Another way I varied it was because it came with these corrugated cardboard pieces. I guess they're cardstock pieces. They're really thick. You hear that? I love textures of papers. Okay, so that little noise, I'm coming near my microphone, is corrugated cardboard, and I thought these look good with that coffee suite because it kind of reminds me of the wrappers for coffee cups. But what I did is I inked around those using my little my ink sponges. Okay, so I think that just added more dimension than in the instructions where it had the white, on the sort of a light color background. And I also varied the background. Okay, again, just a note card. Then you can fit all your note cards, or I'm not sure how many, but you can fit them all in a box. And so I thought this makes a great hostess gift as well in this box, or a gift box for a gift. Okay, you can put whatever you want on it. I put a couple Hershey Nuggets in there just to kind of puff these cards up. But look how they fit in perfectly in this acetate box, and the box came flat, and you set it up. And it came with a nice box wrapper. And what I did with the wrapper, this is one of the projects, is I just took that corrugated cardboard again and inked it. And then I took one of the cards and I cut out a rectangle of the card and I stamped Happy Birthday on it. And then I took a corner rounder punch and I punched just the corners, just 2 corners. That's how I got that little shape there. This rose here might look like I stamped it, but it actually came as a die cut piece. There's only 1 rose like this. That's the only sad part in this kit. So I was only able to make 1 box with this 1 rose, and I have 1 more for my second kit that I'm sure someone's going to make at my workshop. Okay, so keeping along with the cards, I want to show you 1 more card, and then I'll show you sort of how I varied some designs. I did a YouTube tutorial on how to cut out stamped images using the Brother ScanNCut. So we cut out some stamped, I'm just going to show you that. We cut out some stamped of these Sentimental Roses. Okay, and that was 1 video. So if you want to know how to cut out stamped images, be sure to check out that video. And then the next video, right after following that, was how to create a stamping mask so that you can color in just the inside or just the outside. And so this is a second tutorial I've already covered, and this was a card I made to show on that tutorial. Okay, so this card is thick whisper white cardstock on the back. So the card is made of thick whisper white cardstock. Then I have a layer of tranquil textures, designer series paper. That's a paper that's going to be expiring, or retiring I should say, at the end of June 3rd. So this paper is pretty cool, and it had macron in it, so I just said, oh, that's awesome, it matches. Then I used all the elements from the kit, including the little enamel dots that came with the kit. I cut this out with the classic label punch, this little shape, but it came from one of the card liner envelopes. And again, the same way I told you how to make that shape, corrugated cardboard, I love those elements, and I inked around the edges. I used a thin whisper weight cardstock for this top layer, and a thick whisper weight cardstock for the card base. Okay, so now I want to show you how you can vary the color palette. And what I mean by color palette is, I was already telling you that Stampin' Up! Does the research. So far, like we used the colors we were using, I said, oh, I used Flirty Flamingo because it matched the kit. Okay, and I said I used gray granite because it came with a gray granite spot. That's this flower. And then I said, oh, I used mint macron. And I even used my old style ink pad because, and you saw in one of my tutorials, when you have a juicy ink pad, the leaves come out completely different than they do when you have like a sort of a dull ink pad. It's kind of one of those times where you're glad I'm glad I'm a craft hoarder, because then I have my old style ink pads. Okay, so I'm going to switch for a second to a new color palette, and then I'm going to go back because my favorite projects at the end are made with this color palette, and I'm going to go back to that. Another way that you can look at this when you get a kit is you can say, I love these elements. I love this rose. I want to stamp it, but I want things to match. Like if I stamped the rose in Lovely Lipstick, I couldn't have used mint macaron as the leaves because those two colors don't go together. But what does go together with it is this lemon lime twist color. And the way I know that is because the Broadway bound designer series paper has the lemon lime twist in it. And so I just looked at the back of the pack of paper, and that's how I found out about that. So here are the two projects I created with a different color palette. The first is a bag, and to make the bag, I used a really cool project that I love and hate at the same time. I'm a straight shooter. I'll do a tutorial on this. It's called let me turn it around. It's called the gift bag punch box. And you can punch out all the pieces and cut out all the holes. And I love it because it's portable and I could take it on the road. But it just, it's very, very hard, meaning stiff, hard to punch the holes. So that's why I say I have a love or hate relationship. But I love how it turns out. It's so easy. In like 2 minutes, you have a little gift bag, a little bottom, just seal it. It's so easy. So you just take designer series paper and you make a gift bag and it's all in one piece. So I used Lovely Lipstick, and all I did was stamp the rose. I didn't do anything else, and cut out the stamped image. And I cut out the leaves. I have lots of other extra little leaves. This is distinctive stamping, meaning Stampin' Up! Has designed the stamps to have all of this sort of texture and color in them. I didn't do anything else. It looks like I did all this work. I just want to show you the stamp set in case you haven't seen my other 2 YouTube tutorials on this stamp set, just to show you what I mean. This stamp already has the built-in textures, shading, and everything. So this is the first time they've ever offered distinctive stamps in their Stampin' Up! Paper pumpkin kits. So I didn't have to do anything. It looks like I did all this work in coloring. I didn't do anything. I stamped it in Lovely Lipstick, and that was it. Then I just cut it out with the Brother ScanNCut. And I used all my love ribbon. And then I decided to make a matching bookmark because I just love this color palette. I used one of the cards from the kit. So this is the little card stock, the card. Here's the card right in there. I used one of the cards with all the words on it. And I put best wishes using the classic label punch, and I inked around the edges. Okay, so now I'm going to switch back to the other color family and show you my second bookmark or tag. You can use these as bookmarks or tags for your bags. And now I'm back to the other color family. And the reason I wanted to do it in this order so you can just compare how the difference is. I use the same exact dimensions for these bookmarks. I use the same exact stamps and the same exact rows. And in this case, I even used one of the pieces of the card. This has like a nice watercolor splash on it. But look how differently they came out. And the All My Love ribbon pack came with both Flirty Flamingo, this color, and it came with the Lovely Lipstick. So I used a piece of thick ribbon and a piece of thin ribbon, and then I tied, this ribbon is very loose, like it kind of falls right off, so I tied a little piece of the baker's twine, the Whisper White baker's twine that came with it, so that the little ribbon wouldn't fall off. Okay, and I just popped up the rose In the sentiments with dimensionals, in this case I inked around the little classic label, and in this case I didn't need to. It just depends on how it contrasts with the background, if you need to ink around your edges. And because there was white in this background, I inked around it so that it would pop up. Let me show you that close. And because this one didn't have white next to white, I didn't need to ink around it for dimension because the thinking of you already stood out on its own. And I like to offset things so they're not quite in the center. Okay, so those are the tag bookmark projects. Okay, I call these next ones, the next projects, my tag treats, because I use the scalloped tag topper punch. Actually, I have more than 12 projects. Sometimes I say I'm going to have 12, and then I make something in between the time I plan the video and the time I have the video. So here's the third one of those. I made an extra Mother's Day one. So basically, you have a piece of cardstock. This is gray. Let me just show you these two so I can hold them up because of the light and the angle. All right, crafty friends, just one moment. I don't like to waste anybody's time, but let me just focus this because sometimes my camera does this crazy white balancing every time I move it all. All right, so we have the piece of gray granite cardstock, and you score that. And I've done many, many tutorials on this, but I could do it again if I have a bunch of new subscribers, or if you want me to do it again. The tag topper treats is just a piece of cardstock. And you just score it and you punch both ends with the scalloped tag topper punch. And then you wrap a piece of designer series paper around the bottom. It's so, so easy. I mean, these take me 5 minutes to make. Okay, and then you put little treats inside that match the color of the designer series paper around the outside. Okay, so that's all. And you can even stamp on these too. This was, again, from that Tranquil Texture suite, which I'm going to cry. I'm probably going to order like 10 packs of that paper by June 3rd, because I love that paper so much, because I love nautical things, and this is like nautical paper, but it also matches in this project I'm doing right here because the coordinating color. Okay, so you match the little nuggets to or whatever you put in here. It fits 2 nuggets. It fits a lot of other things. It fits Hershey miniatures, but whatever it is, you match those, you wrap them in the same paper. And then I used the classic label punch to cut out a piece of the card liner. When I say card liner, I mean envelope liner. And I could show you those. And then I just used the tags that came with it. Okay, and the corrugated cardboard, and you can ink around the edges. What's really nice about that, let me just show you. I have all these prepared because I'm doing a workshop, and I just prepare things. I don't stamp for anybody, but I prepare the little packs of elements, and then they can just make a card. So what do I mean by liner? Let me just open up. So these envelope liners are how I did a lot of the projects. Oh, that one's a pretty dull one. Let me find a pink. Sometimes, and these little pieces came in the kit as well. Nope. I don't know which one I matched to what, but I actually am out of supplies now. I just put them in bags and that was it. This is a pretty liner though. Look how pretty that liner is. It's that printed paper that goes along with that card. All right, so maybe I put it with, it doesn't really matter. Just trust me, it's an envelope liner. We're not gonna spend any more time looking for it because that's what I did for the next project. Okay, so the next project is Hershey Nugget treats. Let me see if I can zoom out. Oop, I'm already zoomed out. Feels like my camera got closer. All right, let's put those down so you can see them better. There you go, now you can see the whole treat, even though there's a little glare. All right, so for these 2 different treats, I did a little bit different for each one. I mean, one is a birthday, one is Mother's Day. That's how it's different, but I also did a little bit of different wrapping and stamping. So these pink ones, or Flirty Flamingo, are envelope liners. This is a card base. This is the yellow, or it's called So Saffron, is a card base. So I cut up the card base. This here is a card base. Okay, and it's always good when you have Hershey Nuggets, by the way, to tell everybody that you give them to, contains Hershey Nuggets. And then I'm also putting my name here on a sticker, but I didn't because when I take a picture, the sticker shows through on the back. So I wait to put the sticker until after I'm done taking a picture. Anyway, so because I have all instructions on my blog, and I take still photos for Pinterest and stuff like that. All right, and for my blog. Okay, so then let me show you the top. I stamped it in Memento black ink. Here's that. Okay, so the rose already looks great just like that, I think, even without coloring it in. Then I used the masking technique, and the technique where I created a stencil or a mask, and I just colored just the inside. So this one, I put down a lot of layers of Flirty Flamingo. Okay, I did the same exact technique for this one here, but I just put only one layer of Flirty Flamingo. So look how the colors vary. And the other thing I did differently here is I stamped the background of this in Mint Macron as opposed to Memento Black. So look how different these two roses come out. One by putting a lighter layer of ink, and two by making the background different in the first place. And then I popped up these little leaves and dimensionals, and I even stamped on this one little tray. Okay, the tray, not tray, the nugget inside the tray. The tray itself is made of gray granite, another coordinating color with the sweet, but I could have used Mint Macaron. Let's prop that up. I don't like when there's a glare on my camera. And crafty friends, a couple little bonuses, and then I made a couple little bonus tags that I can put on any bags that match. For You was a stamp that came with the set. Okay, Mint Macron, inked around the edges, and I'm using little clothespins by Stampin' Up that were in this sweet soiree kit. I plan on using this tulle ribbon too on some projects, maybe to wrap my box. Okay, finally, my Hershey Nugget box. This is my favorite project of all. Let's put that down. Because, you know, when you get a new stamp set, you don't even know. I'm always decorating mini pizza boxes, but I didn't know it was going to fit on the top of the mini pizza box just perfectly. I'm like, how cool is that? So it did, and I'll share all the description of how you get these, you know, these cellophane bags we sell, you know, for these Hershey Nugget treats, how you get these mini pizza boxes you can decorate yourself. But notice I used the liner, the envelope liner for that on the sides of the boxes and the front and the side. Okay. Sorry, it's so white. I guess I got to keep something dark in there. If I keep these dark things in the camera, the white balance won't go crazy, okay? So then you go, and then on the back, I put a couple of little leaves because they fit. I was thinking of putting them on the front too, but I didn't want them to get messed up when you open and close the box, and there were already some there. Okay, so that's how I decorated the outside of the box. And then when you open it up, I made it a Mother's Day box. And this is another stamp set, you know, and I have some matching framelits. And it's tea together, and it's in our occasions catalog, but also it's going to be carrying over, so you can definitely get this. And then I did some Hershey Nuggets inside, and since I put a teapot, which I cut out with the coordinating framelit, which I also could have cut out with the ScanNCut, but hey, I have the coordinating framelit, so I'm going to use those. And then because they're faster, well, that's to be debatable. But anyway. There, I just put some little leaves on the nuggets, and I put some little tea bags in there, and I also put a liner in the bottom, okay, of the bottom of the box. I put like another liner from the envelope inside the bottom of the box. And so sometimes I just tape nuggets into the box, but in this case I said, I'm going to put this little teapot in the box. Who knew that the teapot was going to fit perfectly inside these mini pizza boxes? It would also look good on the outside of the mini pizza box. So, I mean, you have so much versatility with that. And we'll be using that in my next workshop, which is about making Mother's Day cards. So you can put, you know, so they have more options of different elements. All right, so that's about it. I hope you subscribe to my channel if you're new here for crafty inspiration and Stampin' Up ideas. I'm a demonstrator. If you don't already have one, please go ahead and use my contact form to request some information from me. I'll send you some links, PDFs, even a catalog in the mail if that's what you're interested in. Occasions catalog, and then I'll have opportunities to get my annual catalog as well. Thank you for watching. This is the Paper Chef.